I'm Annie Fitzsimmons. I'm your Washington REALTORS Legal Hotline lawyer, and welcome to our annual Computation of Time Holiday Challenge. I'm going to give you a fact pattern, and you are going to figure out the dates that will answer the two questions I'm going to give you. Here's the fact pattern. Seller countered buyer's offer with a 2-day offer expiration, counter offer expiration on November 25. Buyer accepts seller's counter offer just before 9 p.m. on the final day of seller's counter offer. Buyer has a 10-day inspection period and delivers notice to seller of an additional 5-day inspection on the final day of buyer's 10-day inspection period. Buyer delivers a Form 35R seeking seller concessions on the final day of buyer's additional inspection time. Seller takes 3 days to respond, and on that third day, delivers a Form 35R back to buyer, countering buyer's request for concessions. Buyer accepts seller's counter on buyer's third day, the final day of buyer's negotiation period, using the 35R. When was the inspection contingency satisfied? Closing is scheduled for January 8. What is the earliest date on which buyer can conduct buyer's walkthrough? This is the answer to the annual Computation of Time Holiday Challenge. Ho, ho, ho. Seller's counteroffer was delivered on November 25th, which is Tuesday of the week of Thanksgiving. So the day number one, it was a 2-day counteroffer expiration. Day number one was Wednesday, November 26th, but we can't count Thursday the 27th, that was Thanksgiving, or Friday the 28th, that was Native American Heritage Day, and we can't count Saturday or Sunday because a 2-day time period would include business days only. Seller's counteroffer would have expired on Monday, December 1st, except buyer accepted it right before it expired. Buyer then had a 10-day inspection contingency. 10 days includes all calendar days, so buyer's 10 days ended on December 11th, and on that day, buyer claimed 5 additional days. Those 5 additional days ended on Thursday, December 18th, which is the date on which buyer delivered buyer's Form 35R request for concessions. That gave seller 3 days to consider buyer's request. Seller used all 3 days and delivered seller's response on that final day. The day that seller delivered seller's response to buyer's request for concessions was Tuesday, December 23rd. Buyer then had 3 days to reply. Buyer's day number one was Wednesday, December 24th, but we can't count Thursday, December 25th because that's Christmas Day. Day number 2 was Friday, December 26th, and then we can't count the 27th or the 28th because we include business days only in this time period that is less than 5 days. So the final day and the day on which buyer accepted seller's counteroffer and satisfied buyer's inspection contingency was Monday, December 29. Congratulations if you got that answer correct. The challenge went on to ask another question. Assume closing is Thursday, January 8. What is the earliest date on which buyer may conduct buyer's walkthrough. Buyer's walkthrough, based on Form 21, is a 5-day period prior to closing. So day number 1 that we would count to determine the earliest date buyer can do the walkthrough, day number 1, counting backwards, would be Wednesday, January 7th. And then we would count the Tuesday and the Monday, the 6th and the 5th. But we can't count Sunday or Saturday, making day number 4, Friday, January 2nd, and day number 5, Thursday, January 1st, which of course is New Year's Day. The buyer's walkthrough cannot happen, or the time period cannot begin on a weekend or holiday. And when we're counting backwards and the final day lands on a weekend or holiday, we move forward on the calendar to the next business day. So in this case, the soonest that the buyer can conduct the buyer's walkthrough is Friday, January 2nd, 2026. Congratulations if you got that one, and double congratulations if you got both of them. Happy holidays!